Good Morning PD on Live 95, the PD's gathering place. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to Good Morning PD Live 95. Takes Mondays to make Fridays. Is it still Friday, Rev?
It is still Friday.
How long was that break?
It was a few minutes.
It's too long. But we're printing money, right? We're printing money.
That's the idea.
We can't get out of the way of money. Good Morning PD Live 95. That's a long break.
Yeah.
But you manage it well.
Well, we try.
And as we say in the business, avails are what pay the bills. Am I right?
Pretty much.
So fill those avails, and you'll be able to pay your bills.
Where'd you learn the word avail?
Well, I heard you talk around here. I mean, I'm not oblivious to what goes on.
That's inside lingo here around the radio
See
ranch.
how quickly I learn?
Yeah.
Pay attention. Hey, we do a segment every Friday morning and have done, I think, 2 or 3 or 4. It's a 12-week series that we do. We honor veterans who have served this country in a military capacity. By and large, it's been a bunch of guys. I think we had 1 female last year. We've got a lady here with us today who has almost 30 years of total service, served 2 tours, and the person who nominated her said she never got the attention she deserves. She impresses me to be the kind of lady who really isn't asking for all the attention. But Helen Powers is with us. She is our Honor of Vet recipient. Ms. Powers, thank you for your service to country. Thank you for being here this morning. And I'll lead off by, I guess, asking the most obvious and chauvinistic question imaginable. What did a woman see about the military that wanted her to be a part of it?
I never really had any problems as far as being a woman in the military. I got treated the same as the guys. I only had one situation when I was in Germany as a lieutenant. He didn't like females in the Army. So we were doing our mission as far as our trailers. We had to camouflage our trailers for our mission. And every time my squad got it done, he come out and he said, I don't like it. I done it 3 times, but he liked everybody else's, So I said, well, I'm going to go get the commander and have him check it out. So he come out, he says, Sergeant Powers, he says, I don't see a dang thing wrong with it. He says, I think it looks good. So guess what? About another month or so down the line, he got looked over a 3rd time. He didn't make his lieutenant next step up, and he got put out.
Did you feel like most men in the military treated you fairly? You're talking about that one time, but I mean, by and large, because we look at things, and I can't help but be honest. I mean, we look at soldiers as being men. Uh-huh. We look at the military as being full of men. You being a female, did you ever feel like you got looked at differently, or do you feel most men respected you and your service to country?
To be honest, on my part, I think I got respected pretty good as far as being a female. I never had any problems myself, because I always stood up. You
took care of yourself.
If I felt like that I was being treated wrong, I stood up. But 9 times out of 10, I never had any problems.
So when you were young and decided to be in the military, what motivated you to do that? I mean, we get young people in life make a lot of different decisions. Some are good decisions. Some are decisions you regret and you change your mind. I mean, what made you at a young age want to be a part of the military?
Well, it looked like a career that I'd enjoy, and it was a long-standing career, And at the time, my husband at that time was encouraging about it also because he had been in the military.
How did it make you a better person? I always ask that question. The normal answer we get is it put a lot of discipline in my life, a lot of responsibility. I mean, from your perspective, what about being in the military for nearly 30 years made you a better person today? That
word you just said, discipline, it taught me how to look at different parts of different people's lives and how to make myself, how can I say it, make myself know what I want to do and plan on how I'm going to do this, make goals, It's just, it puts, like you said, discipline. That's the biggest word right there. You said you served in Iraq, right, and you served in Saudi Arabia. Right.
Anything in particular about those 2 deployments that you really remember? Obviously, being the age I am, I'm well aware of our involvement in Saudi Arabia. I'm well aware of our involvement in Iraq. But if you had to look back at a personal situation or 2, what would stand out in your mind in both those places?
In Iraq, I guess the biggest thing that stood out in my mind is I had to be a mayor, what you might say, of the camp. So I had to make sure the whole camp in our unit.
And the camp would be
through.
what? Explain to us who don't know what a camp is. A camp would be what?
It's the unit. The unit sets up in a certain area, and they have their we set up tents, and every platoon has their own tent, and they have to have we have to have showers, and
It's like a
everything's
little small
set up.
town.
Yeah, and then you have to just kind of, like I said, be a little mayor and make sure everything's running smooth. You don't have any problems and all. That's a big responsibility.
That is a big responsibility.
And but over there, I think the biggest thing was that we had to. A lot of times we go across. I didn't go as much as the other guys because I did a lot of administrative stuff. But I had to go to across country with the truck drivers because they give them supplies, so they're not allowed to. They have to have somebody to guard them. So we had to go through the country, locked and loaded, and ready. So take care of the truck drivers.
Last question I'd ask you. We live in a very divided age. We got Republicans and Democrats. We talked earlier this morning that they can't even agree on the facts of which they're arguing about. I've always felt as a Republican, many Democrats listen to the show, got many Democrat friends. We can debate and disagree a lot of things. We'll do that in the last hour of this show. But the one thing there should be a consensus amongst is our support of the men and women, whether they're black, white, red, yellow, green, male, female, tall, short, big, small, doesn't matter to me. If you're making a commitment to serve and preserve my safety and freedoms, I have a eternal debt of gratitude. Do you feel the American public respect and understand what the American military does?
I would say about 80% do. Because you got that 20% that, they don't think about stuff like that. They don't think about what if we weren't there? What would happen with the, America?
It'd be a whole lot different world.
It would be.
I can assure you that.
And people don't realize how good they have it here. They whine and cry about silly stuff, and they don't understand how good they got it over here.
Amen.
You go to those third world countries over there and you see how these people live, and a lot of people were glad that we were in Iraq, to help. Yeah, I seen kids on the side of the road, waiting for us to throw out MREs because they were hungry. People living in a hut, what do you call them, mud huts, with no windows, no nothing.
Well, we congratulate you. We thank you, and I mean that sincerely. I've got a pretty cool life, but I wouldn't have that life if it weren't for people like you who agree to serve in the armed forces. We say thank you. We got some sponsors who want to do something kind for you.
We have a night stay at Hotel Florence in downtown Florence, plus a dinner for two at Town Hall Restaurant downtown, a Pepsi prize package for you, a certificate of bowling and food for a family of four, courtesy of Southgate Bowling. All thanks to our sponsors, Pepsi of Florence, Palmetto Goodwill, Hotel Florence, Town Hall Restaurant, Southgate Bowling, PD Speech and Hearing, and Florence Carpet and Tile.
Wow. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Powers.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll take a break. We'll be back after the break. Takes Mondays to make Fridays. Good morning, PD, Live 95.